Good morning. It's Aloha Friday. Happy Veterans Day. Got any veterans out there? My wife's a veteran. She served 8 years in the Navy. I never served, but I was a merchant marine. First thing I did out of high school is got my captain's license. Got my captain's license, 100-ton ocean operator, so up to 100 passengers. And I also got my dive master certification. Did that right out of high school. So that's what I did for 3 years, as I ran boats. So that's the closest I came to serving. But happy Veterans Day. It's a federal and state holiday, so traffic's kind of light today. But it's been one of those days. It's we came in, we had to dig the truck out, had to put that diesel exhaust fluid in, wash the truck. Then we had to dig out an empty container, took that over to the shipping terminal, which is on a modified schedule. So they didn't open to 7, and we got there at 7:25, and we got the very end of the queues it was going in, so it was perfect timing. Dropped off the empty and went looking for a 40-foot flat rack full of finished lumber going down to the Campbell industrial area. It's one of our most clinchy runs that we do. It's meaning it's heavy and it's high, and so you really got to be careful in the turns. Looked all over the yard, couldn't find it. Called up for the location. It's over in the Coast Guard inspection area. It's got a tag hold on it, which means the Coast Guard wants to inspect it, which is, I think, the first time I've ever had a flat rack have a tag hold on it. So that won't be ready until 10. So we continued on to the next, because the dispatch gave us 4 runs right out of the gate this morning. That was one of them. So this one's on hold for now. Then we ran out to a mattress company and tried to hook up to this full 40-foot container, and for some reason the fifth wheel on this hoist, I think it's hoist, fifth wheels, if you mishit and that pin goes and locks without locking around the pin, it kind of needs the pin to unlock it to get it open again. And so after a few minutes of struggling with that, I finally figured it out, pulled away from the trailer, got out my winch bar and pried open the pin, the fifth wheel lock. It's kind of like a claw, so when you hit the pin, it hits the claw, and the claw turns like that and locks. But if you don't hit the pin and that thing locks, you don't have the pin to force it open again. When you release the latch, you got to do it manually. So that's something I learned today. But we got hooked up, brought the 40-foot container down to the Inner Island shipping terminal. It's headed to Maui on the Thursday ship, or Thursday barge, and there's also a Monday barge. And because there's a Monday barge, they won't allow you to bring the Thursday containers in until Monday. Today's Friday. So now they're trying to get a new booking number to get this on the Monday barge so it can be shipped out on Monday. But we got to get the booking number. Right now we don't. So I'm kind of in limbo. So when you're in limbo, you get caught up on your paperwork, which we've done. And we've made our way over to our favorite 7-Eleven for our second cup of coffee. So I guess we should go do that. So yeah, the job is easy, but it's not, it's simple, but it's not easy, I should say. It's always something that slows you down. You just got to take it in stride. That's the nature of the work, you know. There's a lot of spinning spinning plates or spinning wheels in the air. You got to keep everything moving and trying to keep everything synced up just right. So let's go get a second cup of coffee. Making our way through the town of Maile. Or some say Maile. One of the nicer beaches on the island. Completely overrun with homeless. Still a nice beach though. So our first run of the day, which was the flat rack to the lumber yard out in Campbell, got canceled because it was on a Coast Guard tag hold. The second run was the load of mattresses to the inner island shipping terminal, and that got canceled because it's a Thursday sale, not a Monday sale. So we just did our third load, which is a full 40-foot container packed to the gills with peanut butter and jelly and pet food. Took it out to the grocery store here in Waianae, stood by, offloaded, and now we're going to take the empty 40-foot container back to our terminal because the shipping terminal is on a modified schedule and it's 4 minutes to 12. They won't reopen till 1 o'clock. If I got there at 1 o'clock, it'd be like 20 to 40 minutes before I actually got inside and got offloaded. And my next movement is actually back at our terminal, so that's where we're headed. Back to the terminal, drop the empty, and pick up the full load of, I think it's solar panels. And take that out to the Campbell industrial area to a distribution warehouse. Everybody's got their plate lunch stands set up for the weekend here. Come by, plate lunch. Are you hungry? It's like a family affair. Get onto the interstate, the H1, take that back into town. down here on the beaches. Making our way back to our terminal. So the thing I can't figure out about today's work is I have done very little, yet I am so far behind on my paperwork. Which usually means there's been a lot of driving. Stack 2, which is this stack right here, the rainbow. The whole mountain is covered with the rainbow right now. the week is on its way out of the port, so might as well get on the waterfront and check that out. The rainbows in the background. Oh no, wait, this is a Saturday ship coming in. It's backing into the dock. It's going to the shipping terminal next door, but still kind of cool. It's going backwards. Yeah, the harbor has 2 spin basins where they can spin ships around. One of them is kind of right out in front of us to the left. The other one's down by the Aloha Tower. These big ships, they got to be spun around at the Aloha Tower and then back all the way in. When somebody doesn't put the might still make it. I have to jackknife it in. One of the chassis next to the stall we're putting it in, it's not even in its stall, it's halfway in this stall. But we got it. A little extra work. I'll show you what I mean right here in a minute. Starts on the floor, and then as the sun goes down, the rainbow gets higher and higher, and eventually when the mist is in the mountains like this, you'll get a rainbow in each valley. And I've sat here at times and seen as many as 5 or 6 rainbows all at once, just one after the other next to each other. And that's why a lot of the sporting teams in Hawaii are called the Rainbows. Nowadays, that means something else in the in the pop culture, I guess you call it. So this is why it was kind of difficult to park here, because this chassis is all the way over in the stall. Chassis, and we're parking next to a 45-foot chassis. caught up on the paperwork, and then we'll call dispatch. Back and grab this last empty, and then take it back. Shipping terminal closes at 3:45, but then she just called me again and says, never mind, shut it down, park your truck in the front, come get your paperwork, because we're working this Sunday. We got the LTL runs off the Sunday shift. Got that rain blowing up. That's kind of normal in Hawaii. I haven't seen them for a while, so normally you see that all the time. It's kind of nice to see the weather has returned to normal. Some moisture in the air finally. Because it has been a really hot summer. Everything's nice and brown. It happens every year. Every year I feel this way. It's like, man, everything is really beat up. Once the rains come back and everything gets nice and green, the windward side will start looking like the leeward side of the island will start looking like the windward side, which is always nice and green. But yeah, headed back to our terminal. That's it, 3:20, we can shut it down. We're sitting in the shipping terminal trying to get caught up on the paperwork, and of course that's when your wife calls and wants to talk to you about her day. She goes, when do you think you're going to be off? What are you doing? I said, let's just say if you were doing what I'm doing and I called you, you'd say, leave me alone, I'm doing something. Okay, I'll leave you alone. So today was a bit of a wreck as far as what we had scheduled and what we accomplished. We came in at 6, we'll be out of here by 3:40. We did 6 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We drove 153 miles. For 6 movements, that's a lot of driving. And it wasn't our fault. It was flat rack needed a safety check.
Yeah, you work Sunday.
Yeah, with you. Have you seen how many we got?
13.
13?
Unless you add on some more.
Yeah, probably the air freight.
You like to grab everything.
At least the yard got cleaned up compared to this morning.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, we're headed home Friday. Gonna cook up a meal. I think pizza's on the schedule. Homemade pizza. We got salad, we got leftovers. We'll be good. That is it. And I got a request to make cookies this weekend because we're getting into the holiday season. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.